Welcome to another edition of the Solopreneur Movement podcast. My name is Dr. Bruce. I'm your host of the Solopreneur Movement. A solopreneur is any individual person who is solely in charge of their sales, their service, their marketing, and all of this, as you know, is a mindset. And speaking of sales, service, marketing mindset, I thought it would be advantageous as we kick off the new year to overview my 5 habits of highly effective salespeople. And you can consider this your business plan. I am not sure that I've ever done an episode on my 5 habits. So I just want to spend a good 10 minutes with you breaking down the 5 areas of any business. I don't care if you're already there, quote unquote, in your business, you're ultra successful, or if you're brand new, just getting started. These 5 areas, if you can get just a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, will drastically increase your production. All right. So the 5 habits is sort of an homage to Stephen Covey, right? Stephen Covey has the 7 habits of highly effective people. My 5 habits really have nothing to do with him outside of just giving him credit, right? So 5 habits of highly effective solopreneurs tied to your sales, your service, your marketing, and all of this is a mindset. The first 3 habits are all about the sales system or process. And when I talk about habits, I do like to think about them as systems or processes, right? Like you basically, just like your evening routine, if you're brushing your teeth and you're washing your face and you're getting ready for bed, or your morning routine, same sort of concept is you really start to get a rhythm and a routine where it becomes sort of second nature, and you don't even have to think about it. And when you don't do it, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I didn't do something that I was supposed to do. And so that is the concept that I really want for all of you when it comes to these 5 habits is, it's almost become second nature. You become so proactive in these areas that you can just simply wake up and react. All right. So the first habit of the 5 habits is around your pitch. I know a lot of people want to start with prospecting. I start with your pitch. I start with your message. I call it your opportunity statement. I've heard it be called, it was taught to me originally as your explanation of services. But the first habit is overcoming the commodity trap, right? Because the majority of the people that I coach are in real estate, mortgage, title, insurance, finance, myself included being a coach. I work in a commoditized industry, right? Like when people are inquiring about speakers or inquiring about coaches, it's, what are your rates? What are your fees? And so if that's one of the very first questions that somebody asks, then you have to overcome that commodity trap and lead with the value. So I call it your opportunity rather than your obligation statement, because every first conversation is an opportunity to really connect and go deeper and make sure you're in alignment with that person that you're talking to, whether that's a suspect or a prospect, whether that's an incoming lead or an outbound, conversation. It doesn't matter. You must overcome the commodity trap. And the way that I teach that is there's 6 components of a world-class opportunity statement. And I also teach it, kind of as a script, but I don't love scripts. You have talking points. But when somebody says, hey, what do you do for a living? Or again, like, what are your rates? Hey, you know what? Before I tell you what I do, let me tell you what I believe. And let me tell you why I believe it. I want to make sure that we're in alignment first. Is that okay with you? So right away, we're overcoming that commodity trap where you literally tell it is what you literally tell them what it is that you do. I'm in real estate. I'm in mortgage. I'm in financial services. Right. And a lot of people are like, okay, I already have 3 of you in my life. Where's the nearest exit? All right. So I want to help you overcome that commodity trap. So the 6 components to help you have a world-class pitch, a world-class opportunity statement. The first 3 parts of it is all about you individually. Right. So before you even get into how you do it differently, your traditional value proposition, I want you to work on your individual belief proposition. I believe trained people always outperform untrained people. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. So I have a very basic 5 to 10 word belief statement. Consider that my tagline, right? Just like all these corporations has taglines, you should have a tagline. And so my tagline, trained outperform untrained. I have it down to 4 words. All right. So it's nothing earth shattering about that, but when I marry that with why I believe it, now it becomes a whole lot more meaningful. Having something to say is just as important as having somebody to say it to. You can have all the leads in the world, but it doesn't matter if you can't articulate your value, your message, and build that alignment, right? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so that's the second part of your opportunity statement is, before I tell you what to do, let me tell you what I believe. I believe trained outperform untrained. I believe that because. And now I'm going to marry that with, I call it turn your mess into your message. And I've gone through as much schooling as somebody can possibly go through, having a PhD in human performance. There were very few, if any, classes that really helped me unpack my special. Bruce, what do I get from you? What makes you different? What makes you unique? You know, what is your, who are your mentors? What experiences have you had? What struggles have you had? What was your past scripting? And then being able to package that up. So I call that turning your mess into your message. Mess being mentors, education, struggle, scripting. It's an acronym. All right. So when you really start to unpack those things, you're going to start to notice these defining moments, these unique abilities, these unique traits and skills that you have that equip you to be really good at whatever it is that you do. And that is the third part of that. The third part then is, because of these beliefs or because of my past or my experiences or my struggles, I work in, and now I'm giving you permission. The third part is your permission now to commoditize yourself. All right. So that is where it's like, before I tell you what to do, let me tell you what I believe. Insert belief statement. This is why I believe it, because of my unique past, my struggles, my mentors, my education. And now because of that, now this is the vehicle with which I get to go help other people through. And then you get inside, this is how I do it differently. And this is who I've done it for in terms of social proof. And then learning how to ask for the business. If I can help you just like I helped all these other people just like you, and we're in alignment, we have shared beliefs, and what would stop us from getting started? So that's habit number one. I know that's a lot to unpack, but it's the most important habit in my opinion, because it sets the stage for your prospecting. It sets the stage for your follow-up. It sets the stage for your client experience. It sets the stage for your overall marketing. All right. So habit number two, then we transition. Once you have something to say, now it really is proactive prospecting. And I emphasize the word proactive. Proactive means you cause it to happen. You wake up every day with a plan of attack. I know the 3 to 5 people that I want to talk to today, right? Every single day I have people on my quote unquote help list. I think I can help you. I don't know. Let's have a conversation. All right. So a big part of your proactive prospecting is you start to really understand who is your ideal client, who's your target market, who's your segment, right? There are riches and the niches. And then every single day you wake up and you attack those different types of people within your database. So that's the proactive part. And prospecting simply means, and I want to help alleviate the pressure of what is prospecting. Prospecting literally means there's a group of people out there right now who need or want your services, and they're going to use somebody. And so therefore it's your goal to get in front of them. It's simply to prospect. Hey, I think I can help you. You're on my help list. You make the initial contact, you try to set the appointment, you conduct the appointment, and then from there you decide, is this somebody that you want to work with? And, you know, a lot of people, when they hear the word prospecting, they think of cold calling. They think their hands get clammy and sweaty immediately. They think of a one-call close. That is not what I'm saying. A prospect to me is, again, if I'm targeting that person, because there's a big difference between targets and leads as well. But if I'm targeting a person to say, hey, this person maybe doesn't know who I am, or I've never had a conversation with them. However, I'm proactively targeting them because, you know, again, there's somebody that fits my filter of who I want to do business with, whether that's on the referral partner side or the consumer side. And so I make the initial contact to try to set the appointment. And then from there, you know, you're deciding if you move them into your fight club. All right. So prospecting really just means, you know, you have to give yourself time to prospect. It's not a one-call close. You have to give yourself, you know, 30, 60, 90 days to actually get that first meeting to actually make. And then from there, like, that's where we get into habit number 3 is, okay, we met, we did the discovery call, I shared our beliefs, we're in alignment, I know I can help them. Now it gets into the fight club follow-up. I call it the fight club follow-up, right? But you've all heard it as the fortune is always in the follow-up. So you know, when I go speak across the country on these 5 habits, and I overview the 5 habits, and the very first question I ask everyone is, okay, out of these 5 habits, you know, which area would you be humble enough to share that you need help with? And almost everyone, you know, people do share, yeah, habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 4, habit 5. But I am telling you right now, man, habit number 3, most people will admit I need to get better in my follow-up. Whether I have call reluctance, whether I don't have something of value to say, or whatever it is, they slip through the cracks. I'm not working my CRM. You know, I didn't follow through on something I said I was going to do early on. I didn't keep my commitments to them early on. And so therefore I feel like a bozo and I dropped the ball and now I don't want to follow up with them. right? So we all know the fortune is always in the follow up. And we also know that it typically takes 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time within a 90-day process to close a deal. So I know all of us have different sales cycles, So if I'm speaking to you as a mortgage loan officer and you meet with a top producing real estate agent, I doubt that they're just going to say, hey, here's my next lead, right? It's going to take you time to build up trust and respect, right? People who do business with those they know, like, trust and respect. And so it's going to take you some sweat equity to show them that you are going to consistently follow up. And I truly believe follow-up is what sets apart the amateurs from the professionals. Amateurs go 1 or 2 week attempts. Professionals, man, they're not afraid to go the distance. And it's not just checking in with you. You're on my list of people to call today, right? It really is like you have something incredibly valuable to offer them. And so therefore you just consistently go back because you truly believe that you can solve their problems better than anybody else out there. So that is my definition for follow-up. Is it's a touch with value, whether that's a personal trigger or a business trigger, or whether that's different things that are going on in the market. You have something incredibly valuable to offer. So I call it your fight club because there's 3 questions that I ask. Am I just as good, if not better, than anybody else out there? Do they fit my filter of somebody I want to do business with? Do we have those shared beliefs? Are we in alignment? That's question number 2. Number 3, do they have business to send? Are they going to use somebody? Are they a motivated buyer? If I can answer yes to all 3 of those, then it's my duty to fight to earn the business. It's my duty to protect them from the transactional people that are out there in my industry. It's my duty to be transformational with them, right? It's my duty to go fight to earn their business. So that is the Fight Club follow-up, but you need to build out that system. So inside of Accountable, our CRM, we have follow-up touches systems that really help people go out there and have more confidence and clarity in their follow-up approach, all right? So eventually what happens, those first 3 parts are your sales processes, your first sales habits, okay? And then habit number 4 is the actual client experience. So now we get into the actual operation/service, all right? And all of your businesses are different and unique. However, all of you should be onboarding new clients. So when they finally say, yeah, sign on the dotted line, whatever that looks like for your business, right? Now you're onboarding them. Now you're delivering on the experience. Now you're just doing the things that you should be doing, that you delivered or that you said you were going to do on the front end. All right. So the service side of this, I'm not saying it's easy, but it really is like, this is the process. This is my onboarding process. And, by the end of this, I want to do such an amazing job that you want to refer somebody else just like you to me. So there's 3 rewards that you should get from every one transformational deal. You should get a referral, a review, and retention of the business. And that's how I measure my success when it comes to my new clients. Okay, I have 30, 60, 90 days to onboard them, to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that, they're going to be a promoter or an advocate for me. Promoters say good things when solicited. Advocates can't wait to go tell other people about you because you really did change their life, or you delivered on that experience with them, right? So that's habit number 4. It is all about that client experience, the onboarding process, the 3 rewards that you should get from every one transformational deal, all right? And then the 5th and final habit kind of packs all this together, which is all about your marketing. It's all about you building that brand within the brand. So whatever company that you work with, some of you are solopreneurs where it is solely your brand or your company. All right. You're truly entrepreneurs, but some of you work at, companies and you're building that brand within a brand. And so you understand, hey, I can go work anywhere, but I have my brand. I choose to work at this company. And so I want you all to see yourself as a person of influence. I believe status sells. Status is, are you the first person other people think about? A NARStat, National Association of Realtor, I love this stat, and I consistently follow this in my own company. People use the first person they think of or they talk to 67% of the time. So that's marketing 101. That is status. Are you the first person other people think about? Do you have that brand reputation? And that takes years and years and years to earn. It takes consistency. It takes all these things that we're talking about in these other habits. And eventually, though, what's going to happen is you become so attractive that other people now are starting to call you. And that's the goal for all of us, right? As a person of influence, is we wake up and our calendar's booked. People are calling us. They want our time, our energy, and our resources. That's when you know you've built a company. That's when you know you built a brand, is where you can wake up, instead of everything being outbound, you do have incoming conversations. You do have incoming leads. You do have incoming, you already have your calendar's already booked with high value activities and targets and clients and things like that. All right. So when it comes to marketing, Don't wish it were easy or wish you were better. Anytime that as a speaker, if I see somebody getting booked over me and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm just as good as that person or even better than that person, not to make it about me versus them, but instead of me getting mad, I have to ask myself, am I doing enough to get more attention? What am I doing to make myself more attractive as a Dr. Bruce, as a speaker, as a coach, right? And so it's the same thing for you and your business is we should all aspire to be the first person other people think about. Now, when it comes to putting out marketing content, whether that's through digital media, whether that's through digital marketing, whether that's through traditional marketing, whether that's through events, as long as you lead with a heart of a teacher approach, then some will, some won't, so what, who's next? I can't be concerned with the click rates and the open rates and the unsubscribes and the hearts and the likes and the comments. And so just like this podcast, I mean, it truly is. I hope that you guys see this. I don't just pitch my services like this, however long this video is right now, I'm spending time adding value. I'm just trying to teach that heart of a teacher approach. So my marketing philosophy is built around quality versus quantity. I know some people are completely different, right? But to me, like if you're subscribed to our newsletter, an opt-out is for life. And so I understand the content that I put out, it needs to be of value. So as long as I lead with that heart of a teacher approach, I can't be concerned with how other people think about me. All right. So these are the 5 habits of highly effective salespeople. I don't care if you're brand new. I don't care if you're seasoned. Is really unpack these 5 areas and then ask yourself, hey, you know what? Over the next month, which area do I really want to focus on? Do I need to get better at my pitch? Do I need to get better at, my ideal client with my prospecting and how I'm making that initial contact? Do I need to get better at my Fight Club follow-up of, I have confidence that I can handle their objections. There's 3 to 5 objections that I'm consistently get, and I'm ready to handle those objections, right? Is it, after I sign somebody out for my services, I need to get a referral. Every one deal could be worth 5.7 additional deals over the lifetime. And I want to get a referral within the first 30, 60, 90 days of that partnership, right? Or is it just habit number 5 where it's, hey, you know what? I'm tired of being a secret agent. I'm tired of, sitting on the sidelines. I'm tired of, seeing all my peers doing videos or doing, getting more attention. And I truly believe in terms of my services, my operations, that I'm just as good, if not better than anybody else out there. And so I need to go out there and get more attention for my brand. So really hope this concept helps you unpack your 2026, sort of that business plan. If you're wanting more information, we do have an entire boot camp that truly is built around this curriculum where we deep dive into each parts of these, whether that's for you individually through one-to-one coaching, or whether that's you going through our 90-day boot camp with other people all over the country. But I really do hope that these 5 habits help you in your business, around your sales, your service, your marketing, and all of this is a mindset.